Just imagine you were just thrown into a thick forest, a dense forest. How do you save yourself? Of course, it is a challenging task. Once a traveler lost his way while he was walking through the thick forest, dense forest. Well, he carried food, water, and all the physical necessities on his journey. Of course, he had everything. He had money, he had strength, desire, confidence, and determination, and all the more he had map to find his way out of the forest. After many hours of his journey, tiresome journey in the forest, this poor guy realized that he lost his way. So he was walking in the same circle of the forest, and all the trees in the forest looked similar and the same because it was so thick on the dense forest. He couldn't make out where he is exactly. And he was walking and walking and walking. Finally, the path in the forest became endless. So, despite of having all these physical equipments and resources, but still he lost his way in the forest. So slowly his heart started to fill with fear and confusion. So finally, his journey in the forest became a miserable. See, in spite of having money, strength, energy, great determination, confidence, and map in his hand, but still he lost his way in the forest. All these could not help him to find his way out of this forest. Well, my dear brothers and sisters, today we all of us can compare and relate our lives with this story. Today we all of us we have everything. We lack nothing. We have knowledge, technology, comforts, money, power. And some of you may have a strong faith or little faith in God. Some of you may have great qualifications, many degrees. And you may have a beautiful church built with marbles. And we may have a beautiful statues of saints. But still, my dear brothers and sisters, we have lost our spiritual direction towards God. Well, in today's gospel reading, Jesus laments this generation. Jesus calls and refers the Pharisees and scribes an evil generation. Why? Because they had everything that could guide them and help them towards God. They had the scripture, they had the law, they had the religious practices, but yet they have failed to move in right direction towards God. And this is a warning for all of us, my dear brothers and sisters. We may have everything and we may lack nothing, like a traveler in the story, like a Pharisee and scribes in the gospel reading. But if our hearts are not oriented towards God, if our hearts are not tuned to God, if our hearts are not touched in prayer with God, if our hearts are not set right direction towards God, there is a danger of losing our spirit, the spirit of our religious life, the spirit of our charism, the spirit of our motto, and the spirit of our Holy Father Saint Benedict. If God becomes no longer center of our life, today Jesus calls us an evil generation. If prayer becomes no longer center of our lives, our monastic life, Jesus calls us an evil generation. If we have no time to spend with God in prayer, Jesus calls us an evil generation. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, let us not become cause for Jesus to lament over us.